everyone. You guys killed it. That was our top placing players ever at the
Wow.
SD33 annual Smash Singles tournament, with Nick and Jace coming in third and fourth respectively. So fantastic job. And with Nick and Mohammed winning the duos tournament earlier this week.
Amazing.
So it was a really great season. We played a lot of Smash Bros. And I'm excited to plan for next year in the coming months here. With all that said, Coach Ming has some things he wants to talk to us about like, reflecting on our experiences, planning for the future, and that kind of stuff. So enjoy your pizza, enjoy your drink, and let's hear what he has to say.
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, same thing from me here. Congratulations on a very well done season. Yeah, so basically today I'm just going to go over some things about decision making and also mental stack, things that you guys can take into your next season or if you guys start playing a new game. Yeah, basically a good way to close off this season here. Let's go ahead and get started. So you guys all have your pizza, that's great. Yeah. So the first thing, I guess we kind of already went into it. I wanted to ask you guys how you feel about the season as a whole. How was your tournament? If you had any questions or anything you want to tell me about your practice, your play, and then checking in with the goals we did at the start of the season as well.
Yeah, you.
I feel like that we all did like pretty well on our respective stuff. I feel like we all achieved our goals and we got to a place that we're sort of suitable with.
Nice. Yeah, sorry, could you just remind me what your goal was at the start of the season and how you felt you did based on that?
My goal was to get a little bit better at Sonic and not just end up self-destructing.
Yep. And you feel
And
like you
I
were
feel
able to
like
do that?
I improved a lot on that.
Nice, that's great. Yeah, I love that you said improve and not was able to do it perfectly as well, because that's what goals are for, right? We can keep getting better at those same things that we set for ourselves at the start of the season. Anyone else wanna give some thoughts as well?
I don't know, maybe the only one.
Hey, Nicholas, let's hear from you. You had a pretty successful season this year.
Yeah. Say that correct last year. I'd say
Sam.
definitely improved overall.
Louder, Nick.
Yeah, I definitely improved overall compared to last year. We did a lot better at the district tourney.
Yeah.
I could say I'm the third best Smash Bros. Player in this entire area. It's very cool.
Wow.
I got brought to the Olympics.
Yeah, probably.
The Olympics.
Smash Olympics.
Yeah.
Cool. Mohammed, any thoughts on how your season went? Any reflections on your goals you set earlier this season?
I definitely got a lot better with like trickier movement and like being more consistent. But yeah, I also wasn't really too surprised about my placement in the tournament. I knew like I was playing a little more honest, a little more like by the book, which would be and like I'd have to put in way more than any other competitors to get the same result. So overall, I'd say I improved a lot better overall on the game, but that's kind of about it.
Yep. No, that's a great reflection to take away as well.
Yeah, Michael, what do you got to say?
I didn't learn any new combos or anything. I definitely broadened my horizons with trying new moves and new strategies to play and whatnot, and I definitely saw a lot of improvement. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Yep. So it sounds like all of you guys have some pretty good reflections on the season, a lot of improvements, and I'm glad to hear you guys remember what your goals were as well. That's very important. I guess today we could go over quickly mental stack, which is a pretty practical concept I like to work with. So something for you guys to be able to take away for if you play a next season of Smash or if you guys play a new game, it will be very practical for you guys to keep in mind, just in case we don't continue working together, which I hope we can. But first of all, let me go ahead and start off. Mental stack is basically a combination of all the things our brains have to work to keep track of during the time we're playing a game. So it's kind of like our mental capacity, like how much stuff our brain can hold in total when it comes to the game. Obviously, there's a million things happening on screen at a time, right? In Smash or in any other semi-competitive, competitive game, esport. but I want you guys to visualize what that looks like for you. So think about, I guess the easiest way would be to think about the last match you played in the tournament. So in your head, I want you to think about a list of all of the in-game elements that you paid attention to, thought about, and whether or not that affected how you played in the moment. So let's take 1 or 2 minutes here just so you can think about. It's basically I want you guys to picture like the list of the things that you guys had to think about while you were playing. Okay, maybe another 30 seconds. Okay, I think that's good for time. You guys can just go ahead one by one. Just raise your hand up and then shout out one thing that you thought about, and can go around the room.
Hey, Jace, let's start with you.
Yeah.
For what exactly?
Jace, come on, man. Ethan, show them how it's done. What do you have to think about, like, in a duos match? What kind of things are you keeping track of? What's one thing?
Where your teammate is.
Perfect.
Yep.
Where your teammate is. What else are we keeping track of, Jace?
Any loose projectiles that might be flying around the stage.
There we go. Sam, how about you?
How big your teammate's hitbox is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We have team kill on.
I'm literally playing with a Ridley, so like any attack lands somehow. Even if it's like a forward smash in the opposite direction across the stage, he's still gonna hit us.
Your hitbox is huge.
Yeah, that's great. That's very specific. I like that.
I definitely do find
He's good, really, yeah.
that oftentimes I'll be trying to attack a player, and one of my teammates will just run up, attack the person, hit them away, so my attack ends up landing on them instead.
Love it. Vincent, how about you? What's something you have to keep track of?
Honestly, just like trying not to like do any team attacks and stuff. Be careful.
For sure. Yeah, you.
Both my opponent's next move and my teammate's next move.
Sorry, next one, I couldn't really pick that up.
Yeah, I think I had Mo.
As a sort of like live scout, see how you like want to balance it out. Another thing is definitely resource management. Like if you want to go off stage and hit your teammate to help them recover, or if you think it'll be better off just to like, or maybe you like switch who you're playing. Like instead of playing one teammate, instead of playing against one opponent, you like switch into the other opponent.
Yeah, thanks, Potato. It's great.
Okay.
Anybody else? Yeah, Nick.
You really just need to keep tabs on everything. Because if you're engaged with one person, and you need to make sure that your teammates not going to come up and rush you with forward smash while you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Relax, that might be controlling.
Forward smash is not usable.
Yeah, Elliot.
I always try and find the person in the duos that I'm best against, and then I just go after that one.
Yeah, nice. So your matchup against one of the
I
two.
always try to be on the opposite side of the stage from my teammate. That way I don't hit him with my massive attacks,
Yeah.
and he doesn't hit me with all the projectiles.
Nice.
Doesn't work.
And yet you'll
So it sounds like
still
you're
hit
trying
each other.
I'm trying to keep track of it in an average duos match.
I know that feeling.
It's a small
Yeah,
part.
so a lot of things there, a lot of different things. I hope you guys can all agree with me that there's just, in general, a lot of things you guys have to keep track of at all times that you're thinking about. And that's basically the mental stack, is that list of all the things you guys are paying attention to, whether like you're very focused on it or it's in the back of your mind, maybe not as immediate, but still something that takes up a bit of space in our brains. And this list, this mental stack, is basically a major driver of the ability for us to make decisions under stress, under a chaotic situation within a game, and it directly affects how well we're able to play. Okay, moving on. So it's related to decision making. I mean, in every round of Smash, but also in every game we play, there's an incredibly high amount of decisions being made in a split second. And basically, the mental stack is something that I want you guys to think about that influences the whole series of decisions, and then as a result, the actions and the inputs that you guys are making. And the important thing is when we make a mistake, when we lose a stock, when we get hit, or when we face an unfamiliar matchup, the mental stack tends to get overloaded because there's immediately a lot of new things that you have to add to that list. But we only have a finite amount of mental capacity to sort through the list. So this can end up leading to a negative feedback loop. So we have the stressful situation, our mental stack gets overloaded, and then we have the tendency to make more mistakes, which further amplifies our stress, and it's harder and harder for us to recover. And today, I guess the focus for me is to help you guys be able to avoid this negative feedback loop. So one way to do that is by priming our mental stack. So I like to call this priming because it's a way for us to proactively control and dictate what we spend our attention and energy to. So instead of just having that overloaded or overcrowded list of a million things we have to worry about, I want you guys to think about how we can proactively work on the list and prioritize the things that we should allocate most of our focus to, and then everything else we can leave to our muscle memory, to our subconscious, and we can just figure out while we play. So what this means is we're managing fewer things, but we're managing them more effectively. So let's say instead of how many things did you guys list earlier? Like maybe 10, 12 things. Instead of spending 5% of our energy on all 12 things, we should be spending like 30% on 3 big things, and then the rest on the smaller things that we identify doesn't take up as much priority. So when we practice and play, we're also able to reduce the chances of overload by committing more to muscle memory and finding anchors that we can always refocus back on. So that can be combos, your understanding of the map, matchups, understanding of your own character you're playing, etc. And the mental stack can also be primed and updated and reorganized as we play, but also as we develop more game understanding and start improving as well. So the feeling should be that it's becoming more and more clear what the things you have to focus on for each game, for each round, in each matchup, etc. And that can help you make better snap managements and decisions when you do face something that's unfamiliar. Okay, so practically what does that mean for us? So I have a list of 3 habits here that can help you guys, whether it be in Smash or in a new game that you guys play in the future. I have 2 pictures here. Basically, this is the character list for Ultimate and also the character list for League of Legends. So the similarity is that there's a lot of characters, and I know for Smash, like you can do so many things with one character. It's the same with League. You have passive, 4 abilities, an ultimate, maybe interactions, but if you try to keep track of every single thing that every single character can do, that's not possible, right? Like, you guys know, even for Smash, that it wouldn't be possible to understand completely every single thing that your character can do.
Hey, Ming, we don't see a visual right now.
Oh, that's weird.
I mean, we see you, but not a visual.
Sorry, was that since the start of the presentation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. All right.
It's okay.
Okay. Luckily,
just rocking
this is the first slide with image. So if you guys can see that, the character list of both games on the left side there. Yeah. So it's impossible for anyone. Like, I've been playing League for like a decade, and sometimes I'll just forget what an ability does, but that's not an issue of game knowledge or game understanding. Sometimes it's just your mental stack is so overloaded that you are not able to keep track of something that in review or in practice you might think really basic. So does anyone have an example of when that happened, or when you made like a mistake and then afterwards you're like, how did I forget about that? Or it's something so simple, how did I miss that?
Anybody? Simple mistake from a recent match? We had the duels tournament all week. Anybody remember a moment? We had a lot of 0-2 losses. So, yeah, Ethan.
I believe it was the second or third matchup that we had. It was with Sam and Elliott. What had happened was, my teammate got out. All three of us were at 2 stocks. I got down once, and then I ended up removing 3 total stocks, getting Sam super high, but he had a fully charged neutral B as Samus. So when I moved behind him, he just did a quick turnaround and just heaved me out of there.
Forgetting he had the neutral B charged.
Yeah, the simple mistake
Yeah.
was going behind Samus
Mm-hmm.
and not.
Did you like
Just-
SD 2 times in the same game?
No, that was the previous game of the matchup.
Nice.
But yeah.
Yeah, good share, Ethan. Yeah, Ellie, how about you?
I accidentally SE'd both my guy and Sam's character by side beam to try and recover. He was also trying to recover. Normally it grabs the ledge when but for some reason it chose Sam. I'm still trying to figure out what it chooses when there's 2 appropriate targets.
If there's a person, it will never grab a ledge. Like someone's near the ledge, instead of grabbing it,
Whether it's your
always
teammate or not.
SD them.
Whether it's your teammate or not.
I've had it do the opposite sometimes. So.
Normally, up being in that scenario is 1,000 times better than like.
That's fair. I've had it do the opposite though, where someone is actively on that ledge, I side beam, and then it grabs the ledge instead of them.
I'm kind of far away.
Well, what other examples you guys got?
Yeah.
That conversation you guys.
Yeah, Michael.
Sometimes, since Kirby's a very aerial character, I'll get up in the skylat. I think I remember one time I was just jumping towards the edge or whatever. I got knocked away. I tried to jump back, but I just didn't.
Oops. Yeah, Jace.
I think I can say one on behalf of Lucas is that he would use spells at random moments,
Oh, okay.
and he didn't really care who it hit. So most of the time, or at least some of the times, it would hit me and kill me.
This is my hero, right?
Yeah, he's playing hero. One time I was recovering as the plant, and he did a flying Asherman. He hit me, and I got shot into the stage and down.
Wait, which plant? You talking about sword?
Piranha Plant,
Oh,
which he bought with his winnings from the.
Yeah.
Ivysaur,
Wow.
DLC user.
It's Ivysaur. Damn.
Anybody else? Simple mistakes, things we forget because our stack's too loaded. Nick, yeah.
The duels I didn't lose a single time, but I can say that on behalf of Little Mo.
Yeah. Okay.
A few times he died to it, and I ended up having to clutch more than once. So I don't want that to be a regular thing where I have to carry him.
I don't think you're gonna have to carry me anymore.
I'll jump in with a common one that I often see. Happens in Smash Brothers to everybody, but lots of times people lose track of the resource management when it comes to jumps. People will forget that they've used a jump, get knocked off stage, go for a recovery, realize they don't have a recovery, and promptly die.
Oh, yeah.
That- yeah.
My biggest mistake is like whenever I play Samus and I'm up, I always jump so I have more time and then charge neutral B. But then I forget I jumped at that first part, so then I
Covered by the
always
door.
end up SDing because I
Covered
don't
by
have
the
that jump. So I can charge.
Yeah, that'll be a really common one. Like, another common one that I
Keep
sometimes
going.
see. I don't know if you guys are there yet, but when it comes to remembering whether to do like a short hop or a full hop,
Yeah.
I imagine in the heat of the moment when you got a whole bunch going on,
Yeah.
that's an easy one to forget about what to do.
Yeah.
And another one is if you're also there and you have like platform combos, Remembering to position yourself properly to do those platform combos when you're in the middle of something. That could also be a tricky one. Those are really three that'll happen a lot in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I think those are all really great examples. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Coach. But I guess it's good that you guys can all agree it happens like quite a bit, right? Even though we have a lot of experience, even though we practice a bunch. I mean, I've played the game for so long, and sometimes I do something as simple as I forget to click to walk back to my lane where I'm supposed to go, and that's a mistake I make even after I played the game for 10 years. I just forget to click my mouse once. Like something as simple as that, I hope you guys know, is not like a reflection of your level of play. A lot of times it can just be, wow, our mental stack is so overloaded that our brains don't have the capacity to allocate to something as simple as getting hit by an ability or forgetting to recover, things like that. So here's a list of 3 habits for mental stack clarity and also to help us prepare for situations like this. So first one, and the most important one, is to prime our mental stack by identifying a focus anchor. So something to anchor yourself to and always come back to when we face something unfamiliar or there's a stressful situation in a game. So this can be spacing or a specific matchup tech or recovery, holding the center, or like a map. And you should know this before going into game or just when you start going to the game, so you have something to anchor yourself to and you're not taken by surprise. This is really important because you can keep coming back to it when you make mistakes or when you lose a stock or when your teammate makes a mistake. And then the second thing is, of course, circling back to our first session about awareness and resetting our emotions. So when something emotional or stressful does come up, we want to minimize the chance of it causing a negative feedback loop, basically. So remember the breathing exercise I taught you guys? It must be months and months ago now, but give yourself also a verbal cue to refresh and remind yourselves of what you guys' anchors are that you set at the start of the game. So this way it'll make it so that even if you do make a mistake, or even if something unfortunate happens that's outside of your control, you're not completely thrown for a loop for the rest of the match. And then the last one is a very short post-game review. So not a full review like I talked about in our last practice session, but just one quick sentence to make a mental imprint of what happened in the game. So it should be a reflection of the focus anchor, whether you were able to stick to that, as well as your awareness habits. Just to remind yourself whether or not you went on full tilt that game after you made your first mistake, or something went wrong, or you were able to recover emotionally and then not make a comeback in the game per se, but keep yourself calm and continue to play the game out. So this 3-step process can be used in any game or match, and by optimizing our mental stack in this way, we can slowly start improving and making better decisions, higher quality decisions under more and more pressure and in more difficult situations as well. Okay, another thing really quickly, I know I'm repeating myself a lot about this every session it feels like, but goal orientation, how we look at our goals can directly affect our habits and also our behaviors in the game. So again, process compared to outcome. Playing to win and not lose compared to playing to learn and improve is a big difference. And outcome goals basically is just the results, whether or not you're winning, whether or not you're getting knockouts, whether you're ranking up. And process goals care about the actions that you can control. So the habits I mentioned earlier would be part of your process. And if you focus too much on your outcomes, what that does is it adds additional things on top of the stack, because other than all the things you're worrying about in-game, what's happening, you're also worried about, oh, I have to win the game, what happens if I lose, like I need to win this for whatever reason, so it'll add another layer of chaos to the stack. But if you focus on your process and your habits, you can help reduce that stack by preventing your brain from over-fixating on, oh, I have to win, what happens if I lose, things like that. And the question I always like to ask is, which is easier to control during the match, winning or one specific habit that you can work on? So I want you guys to have a quick think about that, but the goal is to be able to own our own learning and growth and not depend everything on whether or not we win the match or not at the end.
What
What do you guys think is easier? Controlling a win or your habit? Yeah, you.
I honestly think controlling habit is honestly a bit more easier than controlling a win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think that way?
Well, because like winning is like honestly an optional thing. You're mostly there to have fun. Habit is like something that you're sort of like, you know, doing over and over and over again,
Yeah.
trying to get like better and better at it. Winning is like if you do it, then you do it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
Not a big deal in either situation. It just matters if you can do the habit.
Yeah, that's perfect. Actually, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Yeah, I guess we can go ahead and move on. Yeah, so this is the last session, at least for this season. So I wanted to quickly go over a lot of the things we covered. Again, we want to be able to own our own learning and growth and not have it depend on the outcome of our match. And I know it's a bit cliche, but if we trust the process and we put our energy and effort on that, winning will come as a result, which is a bit ironic, but it is true and it is proven. And as we close off this last session, I also thought decision making is a good way to end, as not only does it stay relevant if you play the same game, if you play different games, but also in every other aspect of our lives as well. And then I wanted to open it up to you guys, so not just for today, but also I wanted to see what your guys' key takeaways are for all of the sessions we've covered so far. What spoke to you guys the most? What resonated with you the most? You found most practically helpful, and why?
Take 30 seconds, fellas.
Where's your partner? Talk to him.
Yeah, where's your partner?
Why is goal setting and awareness like twice?
It bears repeating.
That important.
That important. Which one? Awareness or awareness?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sam, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Elliot.
Just gotta give me how much. I'm pretty sure this is
I'm gonna call you, Sam. You gotta have an answer.
What?
Yeah, an answer to what was the most important thing you learned from the sessions.
Learning the sessions? No, this. Oh,
All right, so let's hear it. What was one key takeaway you got from coaching this season in Smash Bros?
I think that like every single one had its own special place in like some unique way, but I think the most important for me was practicing with intention, because like I sometimes don't really practice with much intention, and I could get better at stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
Nice.
Before you like practicing with intention, I just thought that like if I was winning in Smash Bros, I was practicing and doing well. But once you like kind of pointed it out, I kind of stopped caring about the win nearly as much and more like, what kind of combos can I do?
Yeah.
How can I get them like good? You know, it doesn't really matter if I win nearly as much as if like I can land the combo I'm practicing on. It's a lot more helpful because I can win effectively. And like, just because I can do the combo in practice in like training mode, doesn't mean I can do it in the actual match.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
the actual match is like way more helpful than just getting it.
Love that.
So that way, start playing band.
Anybody else?
Well, I did that because I know like wins to see like you're a new character.
Come on, someone.
Yeah, Michael.
I feel like awareness was the most important, as whenever. I feel like awareness was the most important because I often fail. I just keep going until I succeed, and often that just leads to me failing over and over again. And I feel like awareness just kind of helped me realize what I was doing wrong, then try something else to try and succeed.
Nice. Yeah, that's great.
Anybody else? One of our people whose name starts with E, maybe? Okay. Nick, anything you're going to take into your post-secondary life from these training sessions?
When I was practicing the game, I also watched a lot of top players that play my character. And I looked at what they're doing and tried to emulate to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But helped them slightly.
Yeah. Making goals and practicing with intention.
That must be it.
Yeah.
A bit of clean sweep.
Sweet.
You wanted to
Cole does not play for the WhatsApp. No one plays WhatsApp.
All right. Thanks for sharing, everybody.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad to hear that a lot of you took something different away. And the last thing I want you to leave with as we end off the final session is a quick 3-layer model, basically learning how to learn. So you guys don't need me. I know it's might be bad to say, but you guys don't need a coach necessarily to be able to learn a new skill, right? I hope you guys, after our sessions, feel confident that learning to get better at something is something that you guys all have the capacity to do. You guys all have done, and I'm very happy to see the improvement that all of you had made throughout the season. So the 3-layer learning model is identify the concept or the skill that you're trying to work on, figure out a habit that you can use to improve to get better at that skill, and then a cue to remind yourself when to do it. So that's all, and I think that's all the time we actually went a little bit over, but thank you for taking the time. I really liked the opportunity to be able to work with you guys this season, and again, congratulations on all the success. But yeah, thanks guys, and I hope I can talk to you guys soon as well.
Let's hear it for me.
Yeah, as always, if you guys have any more questions for me or for Animus about anything we covered or about anything else, my information is here. Chris will have it and be able to share it with you if you guys want. But yeah, thanks guys.
Sounds great. It was fantastic working with you guys this season and last, and we look forward to more in the future. Thanks so much, Ming, and thanks so much everyone at Animus.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
On to